Hello, my name is Hans George Campbell. Today I'm out here in my shop working on my Atari 130XE computer. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. Keyboard's like urine color. But after I give this computer some tender loving care, I think it's going to be like brand new again, and it's going to fully work. It's going to be really nice. So the keyboard, when it's this yellowed, I just sell them on eBay. I don't even deal with this. I'll just take this keyboard out, sell it on eBay. I'll blow it out with an air compressor, give it a really good sponge bath, tops of the keys, and I'll put it up on eBay for like, I don't know, 60 bucks. $10 to pay the eBay fees, and I get a $50 bill sent to my bank account. And then there's a guy down in California that sells these keyboards for the Atari 130XE and the 130, or what is it, 65XE? Brand new keyboards. And so I'm going to get one of those to put in this computer. But the case I'm going to wash, and of course I'm going to recap the motherboard, and yeah, and this computer will be ready to put back into service. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. So let's get started. Alrighty, let's take this computer apart, shall we? Yeah, I like the way these XEs look. They look really good against, when you have them sitting next to one of the original Atari 520 ST computers, which is the same depth. They look really good together. What I need to get for these Atari computers, I need to get the 5¼ inch disk drive that matches, these computers. I don't have one, so I need to get one. I'll get probably 2 of them eventually. I'll have 2 of them. I'll have 2 of them. Okay, so it looks like we got 1, 2, only 4 screws holding it in? Well, that's nice. Yeah, 4 screws. Let me put this. Doesn't have to be perfect, Mr. Campbell. Just semi-perfect is good. I've got replacement feet, but these feet appear to be in pretty good shape. But I got brand new feet to put on here. I'm using a low torque #2 Phillips screwdriver. That's the proper screwdriver to use for these. Do not use a full-size #2 Phillips. They're too heavy and they have too much torque. And especially, do not use the type of screwdriver that you have a handle and you got all these tips to plug into the handle. No. If you got one of those, pause this video and throw that in the garbage right now. That's right. Invest in a proper set of screwdrivers. Okay? Okay, so you got those screws out. Just making sure I'm still underneath the camera. This should come out of here now. Let me see. Should come out. I just want to make sure I'm still underneath the camera. Yeah, still underneath the camera. Doesn't have to be perfect, Mr. Campbell. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just as long as it's semi-perfect, okay? All right. So this should come up just like that. And this appears to be pretty good shape. The thing I look for is these. Make sure they're not split. A lot of times those are split. And they appear to be in really nice shape. They're not split. And these here are also, they're not split. So the case appears to be in really nice shape. I don't think it's badly yellow. It's slightly discolored. But I think once I wash this in the Dawn dishwashing liquid and Comet solution in warm water and use a magic eraser and the toothbrush in here, you know, I think I can make this look a lot better than what it does now. So, yeah, because I'm going to go in there in a little bit. I have my Atari 520 ST case that I have to wash. And so I figure, well, since I'm washing that, I might as well wash this case too. And that's why I'm out here doing this. So this case is ready to go into the kitchen sink. Okay. So I'm going to take a quick coffee break, and I will be right back. All right. Yeah, this keyboard, I'm just going to replace it with a brand new one. I'm not even going to mess with this. I'll just replace it with a brand new one. Now, I think this just pulls out of here. I don't think there's like any lever that you like pull up, like, yeah, like on the Amiga 1200, you got to pull up the top piece first before you can pull out the cable. But this one, it's just like a ribbon that plugs in. But wow, look how dirty that is. I mean, oh my God, man. I don't even want to mess with this keyboard. I mean, I'll give it a real quick sponge bath. I'll brush it off with my, makeup brush, soft makeup brush. Give it a good sponge bath. Maybe blow it out with the air compressor first. And then I'm just going to sell this on eBay. I'm not even going to deal with this. I mean, why waste my time dealing with this when I can buy a brand spanking new keyboard for like $50 plus shipping, and that's what I'll do. I'll just buy a brand new keyboard. So, yeah. Okay, so the motherboard looks like it's mainly, it looks like, okay, this is screwed on. Gotta take the shield off. Actually, I don't need to take the shield off to get the motherboard out. So let me go ahead and take these out. Now I'll keep these separate from the case screws because I think they are different. Yeah, I'll keep these. Yeah, they are different. They're slightly shorter. So do not get these, like the Atari 520 ST computer, do not get these mixed up with the case screws because these are shorter. Okay? They're shorter. Okay, so I don't see any. Okay, so there's no more screws except in here. I think that's screwed into the case, so let me take those out. Is it still underneath the camera? Yeah, it's still underneath the camera. Take these screws out too. And, yeah. Because I want to recap this board. I want to do a total refurb on this computer. Now, I already did this on my Atari 65XE computer. I did a complete refurb on it, and it turned out really nice. It looks like brand new. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. And you'll see it on display next to my 520 ST, my early 520 ST computer. You'll see it on display in a lot of my introduction videos. Mr. Campbell, where did those screws go? Oh my God. There's one of them. And there's the other one. Luckily for me, they didn't get lost too bad. I found them. So, there is, okay. I think it's the same number of screws on the Atari 520 ST. There's 7 screws to hold the motherboard down, I think. Okay, so now the proper tool that you need to get the top of the shield off is flat nose pliers like this, or they're also known as duckbill pliers. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and twist these around so that we can take this shield off. Okay. Yeah, actually, I think I want to do it. Well, like that. Yeah. Okay. That is really weird the way that is. Why would they have those resistors like that? I mean, that is really weird. Where they got those resistors like that. I'll show you that, a close-up view of that in a moment. But yeah, that is weird the way they have those resistors on the video port. It's really weird the way they have those. Okay, so now what we're going to do, make sure it's underneath the camera, right? Take this shield off. It should come right off. It's not coming off. I knew that was going to be a pain in the ass. Let me take a look at that a little bit better. Okay, so that is twisted in there. Okay. Alrighty, I need to get in there. Untwist that. Okay, that should come up now. Should come up now. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh my God, what the hell? That should come up. See, it's got those, it's like resistors in there. Why would they do that like that? Look at that. And I can't get my pliers in there to twist that. Okay, I need to get my goggles. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I managed to straighten that tab out. Had a hell of a time getting in there, but look at this shield. Looks real nice underneath, but look at the top. So what I'm going to have to do on the shield is wipe it down really good, put some vinegar on this and let that sit overnight, and that will neutralize that rust. And then I'll wash and rinse this and let it air dry overnight. It won't rust if you just put a little bit of water on it and wash it, rinse it, let it air dry overnight. It'll be fine. And then I'll wipe it down with WD-40 on both sides, and then I'll take a clean rag and wipe off, you know, the excess, because you want just a real thin coat of that WD-40 on this metal. And it'll condition this metal, and it'll make it look nice, and it'll keep it from rusting or oxidizing. So I got to do that. Okay, so I need to put this somewhere. Guess I can put it here. Yeah, that's a good place for it. Alright, so let's take the motherboard out of the case. Yeah. Well, there's the lower shield. We'll look at the motherboard in a moment. Right now, I want to get this lower shield out of here because I'm going to say I got to put not WD-40, vinegar on this too. Let that sit overnight. You know, wipe it down with WD-40. You know, there should be. I always thought that there was some kind of like a mylar piece of plastic on this, but there's not. These here, these little stand-up, built-in stand-offs, I guess hold the motherboard up off this. But yeah, there's no mylar in there or anything. That's weird. That really is, actually. Okay. Here's the case. So it appears to be in good shape. I don't see any splits right here on these. They appear to be nice. A lot of times, like on the Commodore 64 cases, these motherboard mounts will be split on those. But on this, it appears to be pretty nice. So I think when this is washed, I think it'll look really good when it's all washed and cleaned up. I think it'll look really good. Yeah, because even these here, they're not split. So that's what I think. That's just to help hold the keyboard, or the center of the keyboard up. I think that's all these are for, so that the keyboard doesn't feel mushy when you type on it in the center. Yeah, they should have done this like that on the Amiga 1200. Yeah, the Amiga 1200 should have also been done like this, and the Amiga 500 for that matter, to make the center of the keyboard feel more solid, you know. So I like the way this computer was designed. I really like the design of this computer. I really do. So yeah, this case is ready to take into the kitchen sink and wash it. Since I have to wash my Atari ST case, right, I might as well wash this one too while I'm at it. Let's get all this crap off of here. And then we'll zoom in on the motherboard, okay? Yeah, we'll zoom in on the motherboard. But, okay, there's the bottom of the board. So, let me zoom in on the bottom. Actually, I'm going to take another quick coffee break. And I'll be right back. Okay, this is the bottom of this motherboard. The Atari, what is it, the 130XE? Yeah, Atari 130XE computer, bottom of its motherboard. Let me brush off the dust real quick. See if I can get some of this dust brushed off. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Yeah, that looks better. And there we go. That's the bottom of the motherboard. I just thought I'd show it in case some of you have never seen an Atari 130XE motherboard. Well, I'll show you this one. And this here is the top. Let me go ahead and brush off some of this dust before I show this. Okay. Alright, so here is the top of the the Atari 130XE motherboard, the top of it. And I really like the way the Atari 8-bit motherboards were done. This is a very, very nicely laid out board. Coming from an engineering standpoint, this is a very nicely laid out board. It reminds me a lot of the Apple Plus, well, the Apple II Plus and the Apple IIe motherboards. They too are laid out like this. And the same thing is true about the Atari 600XL and the Atari 800XL. Those motherboards are very nicely laid out too. And this is one of the reasons why these Atari 8-bit computers blow the doors off the Commodore 64. Yes, you heard that right. Especially the Atari 800XL. Well, this one, you know, similar. And in the near future, I'm going to do a video where it's a comparison video between the Commodore 64 and the Atari 800XL. I'm going to do a fair comparison between those two computers, and by the time you finish watching that that video, you too will have to admit that the Atari 800XL blows the doors off the Commodore 64 in every way. It really does. It's a better designed computer, much higher quality, and the board is much better laid out, as is this 130XE board. This is a very nice board. Doesn't look like it's going to take that much to recap this board. Got a capacitor there. This one feels kind of bulgy on the top. That one definitely needs replacement, or replacing. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 capacitors. Okay, so it's not too bad. The recap on this board is not too bad. I like the way this board was done. Only thing I don't like about this board is that all the chips are soldered in. You can, I have found these where the chips were not soldered in, they were actually socketed. So, yeah. But, excuse me. As long as the board works, that's all I care about, But it's really weird the way this was done. If any of you can tell me what this is all about, why this was done like that, please leave a comment in the comment section, Let us know why this was done like that. I mean, what is that? Yeah. Another thing is, okay, on this board here, right? What is this variable? I don't know if that's a variable resistor or a variable capacitor. What is that for? What does this adjust? So if any of you know the answer to that, please leave a comment. I'd like to know what that variable, I think it's a resistor, variable resistor does. What does that adjust? Okay? Oh, wait a minute, there's another capacitor right here. And I think there's 2 more capacitors here. I didn't see that. So, because they're laying flat. So there's 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 capacitors. For those of you that are thinking about recapping your Atari 130XE motherboard, there's 10 capacitors. And when I get ready to do, the recap on this board, that'll be in a separate video coming up soon. I'll print out a list of all the different capacitors that you need, so don't worry about that. And you get to watch me recap this board. I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem. But yeah, I like to recap all my vintage computer motherboards, so yeah. And I thought about since I'm refurbishing this computer anyway, I might as well go ahead and do a recap on it. Yeah. Another thing I want to hear from you guys in the comments, I got the original power supply for this computer. Should I use that power supply? Yes or no? Or are they a lot like, you know, with the Commodore 64, and you don't use that black brick? See, so, and if I should not use the power supply, the original power supply that came with this computer, what power supply do you recommend? Okay, maybe provide a link so that the rest of us that have these computers, you know, one of these computers, whatever, we know where we can buy a power supply for this computer. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go into the house, into the kitchen, and fill up the sink with warm water. I got an Atari 520 SE case to wash. This is the same Atari SE that I did a recap on its power supply. So the only thing that's holding me up now is I need to wash the case, you know, clean the case really good. And so since I'm washing that case, I thought, well, I might as well go ahead and wash my Atari 130XE case too, to kill two birds with one stone. And while I was out there taking this thing apart, you know, I thought, well, hey, turn on the camera. Somebody might enjoy me watching, you know, might enjoy watching me do this. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it for this video. Stay tuned for more exciting content here on the Hans Campbell Show. I got a lot of videos coming up this year, so stay tuned for that. I'm in the process of working out a deal with someone. They have a whole bunch of old Atari magazines, like Antec and Start magazines and things like that. They even got magazines from the local Atari group that we had back then in the 80s, you know, early 90s. And I'm working out a deal. I'm trying to get all these magazines from him because I want to show these on this channel. I want to show all these different Atari magazines, these antique magazines, the Atari Users Group magazines. I mean, you know, I want to show all this paperwork because a lot of people, they show the hardware, but they rarely ever show the software, and they especially don't show any of the paperwork or the magazines. And I want to do more of that on this channel. So, yeah. So that kind of content is also coming up this year. So, yeah, hopefully I can work out a deal with this guy and get those magazines. Anyway, that's it. My name is Hans George Campbell. And until next time.